listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria. You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Hello listeners, and welcome to our podcast ARTCAST. My name is Christina, and today I will be hosting the first episode of 2 on the topic of hate speech. These episodes will introduce you to the concept of hate speech online and offline. We will discuss why people do it, how it affects them, both the victims and the perpetrators, and how to effectively deal with hate speech in your day-to-day life. There is an old saying that goes, the pen is mightier than the sword. Words do carry power, and the power to influence minds, namely. Great words by great minds inspire, in turn, greatness. But the reverse is also possible. Hate speech breeding more hate raising swords, and hate taking lives. And that is exactly the case of our main topic, mainly hate speech. But what is hate speech? According to the dictionary, hate speech is speech which attacks a person or group on the basis of attributes such as race, religion, ethnic origin, sexual orientation, disability, or gender. Hate speech is used to threaten, insult, and degrade people. It can cause deep psychological trauma and can mutate into outright physical violence. It's 2017, and according to most sci-fi novels, today is the future, and we should have outgrown hate in favor of flying cars and the betterment of humanity by now. However, according to the statistics of the European Union Fundamental Rights Agency and the European Online Hate Speech Survey 2015, more than 80% of people surveyed encounter hate speech in their daily lives, especially on the internet. In our next section, we will hear what people have to say about hate speech. But before we get to that part, it's time for a little tune.
Of footprints in the sun, and you are rumble and a screw. You think it should have been two. Remember one thing, me out of Father God of the plan. So when you see one set of footprints, I gotta carry you. Hurry up and come back.
You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
The day his life was taken, she didn't know he wouldn't come back. He died from the bullet of a gun. And the shopping mall was a family he knew. It's not easy being homeless. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And he didn't have a mom or dad to help him get through. He said, help me, Father, help me. And he looked up to the sky, and he heard a voice reply. Smile, I smile, I smile.
get up and watch the news. Then me hear say last night I see you, them kill a youth. Then mama tell me say our church sister Jacqueline just lose her brother over Sea View Garden. When she tell me judge, I know it mash me up, not tell no lie. But you know say man not huggy, so you know go see me cry. Every day and every night she still ask the father why her brother had to die. She hear her voice reply,
when you cry, I cry. I cry along with you. When you smile, I smile. I smile along with you. When you cry, I cry. I cry along with you. When you smile, I smile.
You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria. You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Mtanielewa vipi na nitaluza heshima tena mnipi uvana pendeza waamini na ziki eti nkicheka wanadhani niko fleshi uko nikotoka bala tupu mkosi naliana mola kumbe wanga ndono mixi sio hadisi za sungula na fisi hata safari imekuwa ndefu spiki ndicho kipindi na mfahamu yupi rafiki yupi msaliti azidi tukulisi anapinya sisi kiki kajala na chuki fanya kununa vimba na upasuki damu fulu mziki kichemka tuna kiki napiga ndefu hata bigi azandiki wanafitini na demu anipe buti awali ziki kuiona ndani suti wanalonye usi zisizonga kwa jiki wananifikiria mauti bado sifi iya tupata karibu wananichukia na kila nikipita maskani mshikaji wangu wananiharibia Nisa naambiwa sina msaada naye katika maisha maana hivi sasa ameamua mshikaji wangu kutangaza vita ajabu ni kwamba ameniambia sinione maskani nikipita nikitia magutu nitakuwa maisha yangu na ya hatarisho naomba msamaha sana kama mimi nitakuwa nimekukosea lakini sidhani kama kuna mtu akazaliwa akawa nakosa sela hata hasira ya kunaribia kwani sisi sote binadamu tunapita njia nashangaa mimi kuona shikaji ananichukia na vitu kunichukulia nikifikiria misijamkosea kila visa tu ananifanyia naona kwamba rudishe moyo wake situishi kwa amani yapate ya sasa tote ya zamani yaje ya tupatani na msela ana asila na mimi nimepigwa simu twende Alhamisi tukafanye vocal tukafanye biti nachukua basi mpaka Bongo City Vingunguti alipolewa anti kwa ndugu yangu kwa baba mdogo kiki wameiba jinsi fedha wameiba buti tupatani na msela
but they can also be beautiful, uplifting, and inspiring, like the song we just heard. In a recent event celebrating the International Youth Day, volunteers and interns from our foundation interviewed a multitude of people about their definition, their idea of hate speech, and their experiences with hate speech. Here are their accounts on the core of hate speech. Stay tuned for the rest of their experiences in the next 2 episodes of ARTCAST.
You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Go. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Agne.
Nice to meet you. Welcome in this International Youth Day. And we are celebrating unity and friendship here. And we would like to know your opinion about opposite side of this, which is hate speech. And the first question would be, have you ever experienced hate speech on your own skin in your life?
Is it the online, the question, or in general?
Like in general, have you in your life, you in your lifetime, have you ever been abused by someone? Maybe someone had some bad comments on your photos, on your posts, maybe.
To be honest with you, no. I think that this is something that you're attracting by what kind of personality you are. I think.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
You think that you like attract what you are inside, right?
I do believe in this. Yes, I do believe in this. I think that this is, people sometimes they're just somehow from inside they're pulsing what they're willing to get. This is my opinion. Then this is what I'm noticing from the people who are around me. If you're, for example, choleric, you're all the time, like lightening something that is like to forcing to get the people to get to you with a little bit, maybe sometimes anger, maybe sometimes some speeches which you don't like. And if you're personally thinking and believing that you are wanna to meet the positive people, to communicate with them, even the circles of the people when they're friends, if there are positive people around you. Personally, me, I don't have such kind of people whom I confronting. I don't. If I see something, what I don't like, I'm just pulling myself aside, and that's all.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Maybe I can ask one more. What would you do if you would see that someone on streets is abusing other people? What would be your reaction?
Well, first of all, I don't know, if I'm not participating from the beginning, I cannot react anyhow. Because maybe this person is really worth. If maybe I'm coming in the middle when somebody hit somebody's child, and that's why the person, like a mother or a father, is, this is like an instinct to protect the kid. So I don't know what is the root of the action. If I'm in the middle of something, of course I will try just to separate the people.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day.
You too.
Can you repeat that?
Have you ever been abroad in other countries, in other parts of the world?
Yeah, I've been in England, Germany, and Netherlands. And I was born in Cuba. I was lived there for 2 years, but then my parents came here because my mom is from here, and I grew up here.
Was it hard for you when you were abroad?
No, I don't think so.
But, your experience made you more tolerant without other kind of people,
Yeah, I love different countries, different people. Sorry. Sorry. So it's nice for me to... my English is bad, sorry.
Can I go on?
Bulgarka ли си? Are you Bulgarian? No, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation when people have treated you differently based on your gender or, look?
Here in Bulgaria, there are a lot of people that are racist.
Yes.
Okay. So they called me, the N word.
With the N word.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad because I'm black. I'm proud of this. So it's not a problem for me. But Yeah.
Okay, one last question and then I'll let you go, okay? Do you think discrimination is an issue in this one country?
In this country?
Yes.
Yes, maybe, I think.
Okay, we have a question about hate speech. First of all, what do you know about hate speech?
Well, I know that hate speech is any form of speech that discriminates other people, be it by race, gender, opinion of something, so that's it.
Do you think with all this awareness about hate speech that it will come to an end one day?
Well, hate will never end, that's for sure, but hate speech will decrease gradually because the new generations don't believe in racial segregation. So they really don't care if you're colorful or whatever. So it's going to be a lot lower in the future.
In the coming future. What measures do you think should be taken to people participating or people doing the hate speech? What measures should be taken?
Well, I really don't think they can be changed. I just believe that the future generations can be changed. As far for these people, they should just be maybe ignored, so that way they won't get the feeling of satisfaction when they discriminate someone.
Why do you think people practice hate speech?
Because they're insecure about themselves most of the time.
So it's all about inner insecurities.
Yes, it's all about them being insecure about something or wanting to prove that they are better than someone at anything, even at existing. So it's kind of idiotic, I think.
Have you ever practiced hate speech before?
Well, yes, and I think no. Because yes, I've practiced hate speech with my friends. It was not hateful hate speech. Whereas I have in myself, I was born with it, I guess, hate against the local gypsies. Because they aren't the nicest people. I know that not all of them are bad, but I still have some sort of hate. I don't practice hate speech, I just don't like them.
How did it feel when you practiced hate speech on your friends?
Well, it was funny because it was jokingly. For example, we say the N-word a lot among ourselves, even though we are white, so it's a joke. But whenever someone gets offended by it, we of course stop, or at least explain why we're doing it and ask them if it's okay. So we really don't want to hurt people that way.
So it's all about amusement and fun.
Yes, it's all about fun.
And in the end, like, how do you think they feel? How do you think people feel when they face hate speech?
Oh, I'm sure it's not really nice. I guess the only thing I can say to people who face hate speech is be strong, and it'll pass with time.
We can go on the stage.
Thank you for participating.
No, I'm good in the sun, but if it's better for you, that's fine as well.
Okay. Have you ever faced hate speech on social media?
On social media, yeah, I did, of course, like anyone else.
How did it feel? How was your first experience to hate speech on social media?
Well, I like the attention.
You liked the attention?
I did, yeah. So I used to run blogs back in like 15 years ago, when I was a little bit younger. And how it works on the internet is that if you want to promote anything, you need attention. And the thing that brings the most attention is hate speech.
You were the one doing the hate speech, or
No.
someone was?
No, I did it sometimes, but I mostly was the receiver of the hate because I was this young kid and I was really outspoken. And of course that attracts, people on the internet. You know how it is. It attracts people who want to hate. Just feel like they want to spout their bullshit all over you.
How did it feel when somebody does it to you, the hate speech thing?
It doesn't feel. Of course, my first response is, yummy. This is gonna help my brand, right? This is gonna help the things I do. But of course, it doesn't feel nice, and it feels lonely. because you know that someone out there who you have never met and who you will probably never will meet, and you don't know who it is hating on you. So it feels a bit lonely. Yeah.
Why do you think people practice hate speech on social media?
Why?
Why do they do it?
Oh, if in the cases that I did it, it was for sheer amusement. So yes, because it's fun. It's so much fun, and people are cruel. I'm cruel too. So it's amusement. It's very nice.
Okay, have you ever considered how the other party?
1 second. What do you mean with hate speech? Because like hate speech sounds pretty bad. This could be outright racism, which I've not participated in, where you have to be a little bit more specific.
So maybe I can ask you, do you want what is hate speech?
Well, hey, it can be many things. So what do you think hate speech?
What do you think about hate speech?
What do I think about hate speech?
What it can be hate speech?
What it can be, it can, it's like a spectrum. It can be outright hate, racism, and it can be trying to incite violence to kill everyone from different color, just everyone who's wearing like a Nike shirt, or it can be just trolling, just making
bad words.
or it can be like teasing, in a way. If I make a joke about your hair that's a little bit mean, you could argue that it's you're black, I can make up some jokes, and about that person I can make a lot of jokes about him or her as well, right?
So why do people practice it if the other party feels a bit down and insecure about themselves? Why do they practice it on and on and on?
Well, why did you do it?
I've never done hate speech, but I've faced.
Yeah, you did.
I've faced hate speech before,
and I'm sorry to hear that.
It chips on your self-confidence and self-esteem and all that. So I want to know, why do people do it?
Well, the easiest way to find out why people do it is to do it yourself. That's the easiest way. Just you have that impulse at some point. Everyone has that impulse, and if you want to know how it feels, you have to do it a few times yourself, and then you can only understand. I can, I've done it myself. I know how it feels, and I can tell you this, but you cannot relate to it because you've never done it, and that's why I think that if you would actually do it, that would be also easier to deal with when you receive hate speech, because
So I have to practice it to learn from it.
Yeah, and just a few times. You don't have to become an angry little troll. You don't have to start a new world war. But, find a willing victim and, say things the other person don't like and that you do like, and see how it makes you feel. And then maybe you'll learn something.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not qualified in any way.
Okay, thanks for participating.
Sure.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, so...
Do you think discrimination is an issue?
No.
I mean, in your country, it's not an issue, in your opinion?
In my country, it's very interesting because a lot of people look the other people with different eyes, and in France, a lot of Muslim people, and yesterday I was in Istanbul, and it's so different. Here it's different, I think so, because in France a lot of people are afraid about other people, and this is discrimination, but I think it's not an issue.
So you think in Bulgaria you are cool with that,
yes,
right?
I think
Okay.
I arrived in 2 hours, since 2 hours.
What do you think about hate speech on social media instead? On the internet, on Facebook, some comments, negative comments about hate speech, other people.
I think it's so easy to make that with social networks, and a lot of people don't speak less directly with persons, and it's with social network. I think it's bad, but I use all days, but it's I think it's not good about that. Yes.
Because it's a way to spread discrimination all around the world.
It's so easy to make that. It's so easy to discrimination.
You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
nashika peni kwenye fani na jongea. Nasema kwa makini, sikia nachoongea. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ina mambo toka kitambo. Dunia hii imejaa chuki na masimango. Ona sasa brother, mimi chupu chupu kupewa kisago. Kakopa nguo kwenye maripo kageuka mbogo. Hakina dada mnalukia mapenzi bado adogo. Anamuita dogo na kweli mdogo, lakini la ajabu anatembea na vigogo. Shule kaacha kwa tamaa za vitu vidogo. Wizi unapamba moto, dunia inatoa somo. Na jani lini ukimwi utafika kikomo. Utafika kikomo pale utakapoacha ngono. Naitwa Dito, naitwa Dito kutoka Bongo Record. Dunia ina mambo, ingia kwenye mitaa, wazusho mizaga, majungu yamejaa. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ni ukirema upati kitu kabisa, upati kitu kabisa. Dunia ina mambo, ingia kwenye mitaa, wazusho mizaga, majungu yamejaa. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ni ukirema upati kitu kabisa, upati kitu kabisa.
Kweli dunia na mambo, tena dunia na mambo, vijambo toka kitambo. Kama ukifata mkumbo, yani ukimwiga tembo, utakwenda kombo. Bora unyamaze tu, jifanye hauna makuu. Ukipata unakula kuku, ukikosa na uchuna tu, chuna tu. Kama mina majani, Keyo na Juma Mchizi. Tuna rap, tuna blaze, tunafanya mziki kazi, so mapenzi ubitozi. Bona unanitazama, ama unazishangaa rasa zangu minye usiti, au labda unadata, unashangaa baba T navonata kisanii namna hii kwenye hii biti ya P. Hamna noma, kushanga mara moja ya pili unulize swali, au kishanga mara tatu nitahisi unataka shari. Naferi kama washikaji flani, sore vinabo flani, walokwaga na mimi muda flani so zamani. Wenye tabia za kike wanachonga chonga pembeni, wanachonga kila leo kuhusu mimi na Kandeo, au mimi na Mkamadeo, ambao kwa mchango wao ndo mimi nikapiga bao. Amani kwao watu hao wenye uchungu, uchungu na damu yangu, tangu na tangu nilipozimwa na mzungu kwenye uzinduzi wangu. Kishanga paka ziwa nimedhulumu wenzangu, bado alikuwa na mimi katika kumomba Mungu. Kama Professor JJ Mo na Brother K, amani kwao watu hao hata na majani.
Dunia ina mambo, ingia kwenye mitaa, wazusho mizaga, majungu yamejaa. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ni ukirema upati kitu kabisa, upati kitu kabisa. Dunia ina mambo, ingia kwenye mitaa, wazusho mizaga, majungu yamejaa. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ni ukirema upati kitu kabisa, upati kitu kabisa. Kwenye viringe watu wawazi maendeleo, kichunguza wanawaza flani kala nini leo. Kwa jinsi navyoona ni ukosefu wa upeo. Bwana, majungu na fitina ya reti maendeleo. Mtu mwenye busara natafuta mwelekeo, anawaza siku zinavyokwenda tapataje maendeleo. Awe na maisha bora mara 10 zaidi ya leo. Ni sakata la mwaka, dada kamtaka kaka, kaka nekatamani kasema ondoa shaka. Hali ya maisha ngumu, pesa haipatikani, mchana na jioni ya mboga haionekani. Tafanya nini na jua kali mpaka mfukoni. Wengine wakipata hela misele kwenye komoni, anazuga na bia moja kutoa harufu mdomoni. Mabinti nao wanaozeshwa bado wadogo, mali kwenye familia sinaleta zogo. Wajomba na shangazo nataka japo kidogo. Dunia ina mambo, wajomba na shangazo nataka japo kidogo. Kitu kidogo. Dunia ina mambo, ingia kwenye mitaa, wazusho mizaga, majungu yamejaa. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ni ukirema upati kitu kabisa, upati kitu kabisa. Dunia ina mambo, ingia kwenye mitaa, wazusho mizaga, majungu yamejaa. Dunia ina mambo, dunia ni ukirema upati kitu kabisa, upati kitu kabisa.
You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Utanipenda mimi nisipong'ara, utanipenda mimi nikiwa fukara, utanipenda au ndio utanipunda, utanipenda
Bado nina mashaka kila kunapokucha, hawa nilionao ipo siku wataniacha. Wametulia, wameficha makucha, mjeni binadamu kumbe ndani ni ndondocha. Wananichora kila ninachofanya, nikiwa nao pembeni wananisonya. Si wasichana, si wavulana, watoto kwa wazee, mazee kwa vijana. Niko na kila siku bega kwa bega, hata lafudhi yangu baadhi wameshaiga. Kila sentence mwisho nikwekaga, mfano alikula nasema alikulaga. Hata siku za kazi sisi ulabu, sisi ni raha tu, hatupendi tabu. Rafiki zangu kwangu ni ndugu zangu, ndo maana nashare nao kila kilicho changu. Lakini je, tutakuwa pamoja siku maiti nikianguka moja kwa moja? Mtani hug au mtani tus na kuniona moyoni mwenu sina nafasi? Je, mtanipa heshima kama zamani? Kipindi hicho mina ng'ara jukwani. Mapromota je, mtakwenda hewani japo kunisabai au ndio bye bye?
Utanipenda mimi nisipong'ara, utanipenda mimi nikiwa fukara, utanipenda au ndio utaniponda? Utanipenda mimi nisipokuwa star, siku nimechacha mimi nimekosa chapa, utanipenda au ndio utaniponda? Kimapenzi mimi nawe tukwanza kwenye hali duni, ila tulifuata mila zote kitamaduni. Hata wazazi wangenona muhuni, ningeamua kukupata kwa njia za uchochoroni. Tulikwenda ngazi kwa ngazi, mimi na mshenga mpaka kwenu Tanangozi. Bila ajizi nikawana wazazi, bila kipingamizi wakasema mlango wazi. Nafurahia visasa maisha ya ndoa, hata milupa nga zamani ninajua. Mimi napenda jinsi unavyonipenda, maneno matamu unanipa kwenye kitanda. Lakini 9, 10 mangala kwenye mapenzi haya najiona kama ni sakala. Kichwani kwangu maswali 100 ya ishi, siku nikianguka namna gani tutaishi? Na wasiwasi kama utanitenga, sababu sijui kwa nini ulinipenda. Ni serikali iko kwako moyoni, siwezi tambua kwa kusema neno mdomoni. Kama ni penzi la kweli kwangu ni heri, kama Lazari komentari litupe mbali, kwani mwishoni litaleta hatari. Sikwachi blank baby, hey che. Utanipenda mimi nisipong'ara, utanipenda mimi nikiwa fukara, utanipenda au ndio utaniponda? Utanipenda mimi nisipokuwa star, siku nimechacha mimi nimekosa chapa, utanipenda au ndio utaniponda? Leo nataka majibu kwako na ukweli wako. Leo nataka majibu kwako na ukweli wako lady. Utanipenda mimi nisipong'ara, utanipenda mimi nikiwa fukara, utanipenda au ndio utaniponda? Utanipenda mimi nisipokuwa star, siku nimechacha mimi nimekosa chapa, utanipenda au ndio utaniponda?
You're listening to ARTCAST from our studio in Sofia, Bulgaria.
This is how people see, hear, and feel hate speech. However, we need reminders now and then that words can be used in a constructive and influential way. Music is a great way to demonstrate that. So far, we have heard a couple of interviews regarding the topic of hate speech. People's opinions on hate speech differ from one another, and surprisingly, some do not even consider hate speech to be a problem. However, now we would like to take a look at hate speech from a different angle, and we will do that by raising the following question, and it is namely, what is the definition of hate speech? And in order to answer that, we need to first define the term freedom of speech. So, what does freedom of speech mean exactly? The exact definition of freedom of speech is the power or right to express one's opinion without censorship, restraint, or legal penalty. Considering the definition, hate speech is an opinion and could be seen as an inseparable part of freedom of speech. In some countries, such as the US for instance, hate speech and the right to express one's opinion, regardless of whether it is positive or negative, is protected by the law. To illustrate, the freedom of speech is strongly protected from government restrictions by the First Amendment in the United States. However, the US is one of the little exceptions considering laws regarding the matter, because hate speech is in fact illegal in most countries all over the world. Examples for such countries in Europe in which hate speech is strictly forbidden and is also considered a crime are Belgium, Croatia, Denmark, Germany, France, Poland, Sweden, and so on. According to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, any advocacy of national, racial, or religious hatred that constitutes incitement to discrimination, hostility, or violence should be prohibited by law. So, what exactly is the relationship between the two terms? Is hate speech to be considered a matter of personal choice and expressing of an opinion, or is it something much more serious than that? In our next podcast, you will be able to hear a discussion between our volunteers regarding the topic of hate speech, including the aforementioned question. Until then, stay tuned for more content connected to the topic of hate speech, and thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
The project is carried out thanks to the financial support of the European program Erasmus Plus K Action 2 Capacity Building in the Field of Youth.